This standard is very much about building the capacity of the people who are working with survivors, the different staff in your centres. That's staff who have a range of different skills and backgrounds. So it could be clinical, it could be administrative, it could be all sorts of things depending on your centre and the people that you employ to do the work. So the indicators of practice, the two that we have, explored through this one is the centre has a system to continuously monitor the capacity needs of the organisation. The centre is committed to the continued capacity training and development of staff on the basis of organisational and individual needs assessments to ensure they can perform the duties required of them. So it talks about, having core competencies as well as looking at individual staff and what the developmental needs are for those individuals. Because each different staff will have different experiences and different skill sets and will need different types of capacity building support. So it's not a cookie cutter, one size fits all. There's a need to really have a look at the collective and individual in this process. So when we were looking at this as on the Health Advisory Board, we're really mindful that different countries have very different needs and expectations around who is doing what work. Recruitment costs for us are huge. So we always hope we find a unicorn, that is somebody who has all the experience and skills and they can just start without a lot of help, but they don't exist. So recruitment is a costly endeavour, as is onboarding.
The limitations that we have here is we are quite lack in terms of costs, and also we don't really have someone to facilitate. So to be creative, we pool our skills together, and if it is free, then we can give it for free. But if it's not, we try to meet the needs. So one of us here can train each other. So for example, when you are working in certain fields, you don't find that is especially hard because that is becoming a normal thing to you, but it may not be a normal thing for another person. So this organization can be training another organizations and provide skills. For example, journalism. For example, how do you provide care, medical care and counseling skills. So these are the things that we think we can help the others to grow.
The others had one where they get volunteers or specialists like psychiatrists, lawyers, where they get them to do kind of train pro bono. They come and train the staff, like say on how to interview victims or different issues with the legislation, things like that.
So here's a question. What health and safety requirements, and maybe it's just safety, what safety requirements are there in your regional state? Like, is it legislated? Are there specific things that you need to do?
If we can't provide security, we can't ask our staff to work. So not getting arrested, not getting tortured by police, giving them that hope, that atmosphere, that support is what security means to me. As far as health is concerned, it is the diseases. We worked in COVID and we made doubly sure we got the resources for our staff. One staff got COVID while working. We immediately admitted them in our hospital and treated him. So like that, security in our work is like from police, from communities. The NGO should support, give them that support. That's what I feel.
I use the vague term of physical and psychological security. And when we talk about the physical security, I would specifically mention the area-specific circumstances. For example, our staff is always at risk at the hand of non-state and states actors. So we, being organization or being team leaders, are supposed to provide them and ensure them the physical security to make the thing in such a way that their security is ensured at every cost. Second is psychological security. I was talking. It depends upon the situation. Sometimes losing fear of losing the job brings you under stress. Sometimes you are not getting the due share of your services. Also put you under stress. Sometimes dealing with the victims makes you depressed. So these are the psychological and physical, both the terms I use. We need to take care, and it is the organization that has to devise the plan how to ensure psychological and physical security of their staff.
I think in the context right now, not only in the Philippines, but also in globally, where there is human security issue, human security loss, I think it's not only the staff or the, us who are at risk, but also the whole organization who are also involved in one way or another in the anti-torture movement, which from the perspective of the government or the institution is somehow you are anti-government, no? So I think when we talk of safety, it's not only individual, but also you have to look at the organization and also the whole of the civil society within a certain and thus it's very important that when we look at it, at the different levels as well.
Staff wellbeing and retention includes looking at wellbeing, safety, skills, training and supervision, all things that came up in the discussion we just had. And if we get that right, it means we can deliver trauma-informed, meaningful and effective services. If something is out of whack with staff wellbeing and retention, if something's gone from there, we will struggle to support survivors in the way that we intend to. We won't meet our objectives. So there's an important part in making sure people are safe.